Over the last 7 years since I've hit the reset, everything has changed in my life. And I mean everything. My health, my wealth, and how I make wealth, how I create wealth in my life, how I impact the world, the quality of my relationship with my wife and my children, and how I relate with allies, right? So friends slash allies. I don't really have a lot of friends. I don't want a lot of friends. In fact, I want no friends. I want allies. And what that means is allies are people that add value to your life, and in turn you add value to their life. And you don't waste time together, you don't mark time together, you don't just spend time together doing meaningless things that get you trapped in like monotony of just mediocre. And one time I saw, and I've mentioned his name before, I saw a guy named Chris Rood, Rood. Go follow that guy. He's from Louisiana, and man, he's pretty edgy, pretty intense. But he's an exceptional and extraordinary um, real estate investor, but also he inspires and motivates a lot of people to kind of get out of their own way. Now, there's some abrasiveness to him, some edge, and I love that. That's what I love most about him. But he's the one where when I was on a full day speaker panel, I guess you could call it a speaker docket, and I started off, and typically when I get brought to an event, to a seminar, or hired to a seminar, hired to a conference, I usually I have keynoted and closed out conferences before, but I usually start it because I bring the fire and I bring the heat, and I get everybody's attention, and I get their juices flowing, get them motivated, and that's probably why you're listening to this podcast. But I've got an exceptional way to get the energy and get the juices flowing in your body, so that you're more receptive and more open to just listening at a different level and hearing different things, and making sure that you're open to new concepts and new ideas. And I was in a full day seminar one time, and I was the leading speaker, but Chris Rood spoke later in the day, and it was probably right around lunchtime or something, right before lunch, if I'm remembering correctly. And he said a couple things, and Chris is where I first heard the no friends, only allies. But and that changed the way I look at relationships. But he also said something that at the time it just didn't click. It didn't inspire me. It didn't motivate me. And it was because I was still working through relationships, and I'm not talking about my personal relationships, just how to navigate so many people in the coaching space and in the speaking space, how to navigate so many people coming through your life, entering your life, exiting your life, how to navigate that, and how to form connections, how to relate with people, how to bond with people, but also how not to get, I don't know, just so polluted with other people's energy and other people's life that you maintain a high quality life yourself. And what I mean by that is, I remember years ago, I used to have this telephone book, and back in the day when there was no phones or whatever, it wasn't contact lists and stuff like that, wasn't as easy and accessible. But I had a phone book, and I had contacts in that phone book from elementary school and middle school and high school and my Marine Corps days and early in my corporate days. And it's like I looked at this book, and I felt like I needed to maintain contact with all of these people, and that I needed to keep everybody in my life. That once you came into my life, I was kind of obligated to remain in contact, and all it did over time is just weigh me down. And it just, maybe that's true for you too. You just get so bogged down in trying to remain connected with people in your life that you lose a high quality of life for yourself. And you're so worried about making sure that people, for me, you're making sure that people don't feel used or forgotten, or that you only call when you need something. You're so worried about how they perceive your relationship and how you're showing up in your relationship that you kind of lose yourself in so many connections. And when I was watching Chris speak, he said something. He said, buy your friends. Like, rich people buy your friends. And now look, it's about 2 years later, and Chris was spot on. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the value of buying your friends and what that means. And a lot's changed over 7 years of my life, and every belief that I have is different, and every perspective that I have is different, and every single thing in my life, everything in my life is different. And when I grew up in a lower middle class, blue collar city. I grew up in the middle of Baltimore City. We had no grass, no trees, no grass. I had, my backyard was all concrete and cinder block, probably, I don't know, 16 by 16. It wasn't very big, but it was, if that, maybe 12 by 12. But, we didn't even have, I didn't mow a lawn until I was 25 years old. But when I was raised, my parents always warned me against, trying to buy my friends, and what that meant is try to buy people's friendship, try to buy people's, like, get them to approve of you through buying them. And that set the tone for a life where I didn't want value exchanged, me paying for somebody to be the reason that they were in my life. And it was almost like I was on guard for times where we go out, and I remember going out to, bars and stuff when I was in my roaring 20s. And, I would pick up the bar tab, and I just allowed myself to feel like I was, I didn't want to, I didn't think I wanted to, but I felt like I was just trying to buy friendship. And maybe I was at the time, I don't know, but maybe that's why it's a memory. But all these years later, I see that, the belief that we shouldn't buy our friends has really harmed, I guess, harmed where I could be if I would have done something different with my life earlier, much earlier. So there was a pivot point, on March 18th of 2016, I got fired from my second termination. I got fired from what would turn out to be my last corporate job. And now I'm living the life of my dreams. So thank God for that. And everything changed. And since then, since March 18th, I started buying my friends. Now, what Chris meant and what this means, and what I'm going to encourage you to think differently about, is right now in my mastermind, I've got 60 people in our Facebook group. We've got because in my mastermind, so there's students and there's seats. So if a husband and wife together join the mastermind, that's one seat. They get one seat, but that's two students. So in the mastermind, we probably have 38 seats filled and 60-ish people in the mastermind. So look, your significant other comes along for free in terms of no tuition for the daily or the weekly calls. And the weekly calls are the book study and our business call and our mindset call. And then there's a women's call twice a month. And then there's a personality call twice a month. And we dive deep, like it as a community. It's like an academy. In fact, we've tossed around the idea of renaming the Inner Wealth Mastermind the Inner Wealth Academy, because that's really what it is. That we retreat twice a year. And the significant other is invited to all of the things. So we want, if you're trying to go out and conquer and dominate in the entrepreneurial space, and your wife or your husband or whatever, whoever the other person is in your life, if they're in conflict with your goals and with your path and with your purpose, you're fighting a war on two fronts. You don't stand a chance. The only way for an entrepreneur to really go out and slay in the world is if the partner is in alignment and understands that there's success, and success requires some time investment, and it also requires an attention investment that that entrepreneur might not always be as present as the average person can be. And in our mastermind, we make sure that we're not losing our relationships in the process while we're creating wealth and success and higher levels of freedom. But in the mastermind, when somebody could look, I love people. Okay. And I'll tell you, that sounds pretty, I don't know, kitschy or whatever. But for me, love stands for letting others voluntarily evolve. It just means I let you be you, and all I ask in return is for me to be me. I feel such a sense of love, for humanity and for people, and people can feel that, and that oozes out of me. And sometimes I get really edgy and really intense. And, the last episode of this podcast is that's an example of that. I get really edgy and really, intense, but the point is I want the best for every person I come in contact with. I always want the best for every person I come in contact with. I don't believe I have enemies. There's people that have, we've crossed paths and it didn't go awesome. But, the thing I do is I work on, as soon as that I recognize that, I work on forgiveness, and I bring myself back to a state of love. So I feel like light about that relationship, and I don't feel heavy at all. And I don't have, resentment or anger about that person. So I feel like I live in a constant state of love, and it feels really good. So I love the people in my mastermind. I love the people outside of my mastermind. I love the people that have come through my mastermind and they've left. I love the people that have come, that almost joined my mastermind and didn't join. I love the people that, don't want to be part of the mastermind. None of that matters to me in terms of impacting the amount of love I have for somebody. But the difference is the people buy my attention. They don't buy my love, but they do buy my attention. And that was a big, big change in mindset for me when I entered this coaching space. Listen, money is energy. Okay. Money is energy. That's it. That money it's currency, but money is energy. And money energizes experiences, and money energizes everything. But money is energy. I want you to rethink. If you don't think that way about money, start to change the way you see money and you think about money and you feel about money. All money is energy. Everything, like if I handed you $1,000 right now, the energy in your body would increase. And that's, money is energy. There's an exchange there. And when you receive money, energy goes up. Your energy goes up. I mean, and for somebody to maybe to deny that happens, that you don't get a little excited and the energy in your body increases when somebody hands you $1,000 or there's an exchange or you get a new client. I mean, I'm going to call bullshit. Money is energy. When there's an exchange of money, there's like an energy increase. Money is energy. But so is attention. Attention is energy. Attention, when I focus on you, I am literally giving you my energy. When I am giving this podcast my energy right now, because I'm recording this podcast, I am giving this podcast my energy. I could be with my family. I could be with my pets. I could be out right, looking at Christmas lights. I could be out doing a lot of things, but I'm choosing to give my energy to this podcast recording, and that's where my attention is. So attention, in essence, is energy. And when we're talking about small business, and we're talking about relationships, and we're talking about connection, and we're talking about how we're bonded with people, we can't give our attention to everyone. There are 8 billion people on the face of the planet, and we can't give our attention to everyone. And what a healthy relationship is the mutual exchange of energy to make both people's quality of life increase. That is a healthy relationship. Now, in a marriage, it's 2 people giving their attention to each other. And when you give your attention to each other, both people receive value and you're better together and your circumstances expand. And I hope this is clicking. Money is energy, but so is attention. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a finite amount of attention. I can give attention to my wife, to my kids, to me, to my pets, to my business, to my health, to writing, to podcasting. I can give my attention. I have finite attention at any given time. Only one thing can get my attention. And you might say, well, what about distractions? You can only give attention to one thing. And whatever you focus on, you give your energy to, because that's where your attention is. And listen, in a healthy relationship, there's a equal exchange of energy. In a healthy relationship, there's an equal exchange of energy. What that means is if I have something that you want, knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, motivation, if I have, just something that you want, that would benefit from, maybe a course, maybe my workshop, my mastermind, you have something, maybe I have something that you would benefit from. And that requires my attention. You require my attention for a little bit. A healthy relationship is a mutual exchange of energy. And that means if you want my attention, that costs money, because money is energy as well. Hope this is making sense. In a coaching relationship, the people in my mastermind get a lot of attention from me. In fact, they get a ton of my attention. My wife and I, because she coaches in the business with me as well. She coaches the women, and she also, helps on our calls, and she does a great job. My wife coaches, and sometimes outside of client engagements and outside of our business dealings, we're talking about how to help our clients at a higher level. So we're giving attention to our clients outside of business hours or business dealings, or we're, outside of any business connection. We're literally, we spend time trying to help our clients, trying to think of what we can do to help our clients at a higher level. We're literally giving somebody our attention when they're not present. And that, when you exchange value, when you pay for coaching with us in our mastermind, we are literally turning some of our attention, a part of our life, a part of our attention, a part of our focus over to you. And what we ask in exchange for that is a financial transaction. We want some energy back, because we have wants, we have needs, we have desires, we have financial goals, we have financial aspirations, and we also have solutions to a lot of people's problems in the world. And if you want to access those solutions, and that requires our attention, then we ask for financial transaction in return. This is called business. This is called business. Now, I had a guy the other day. We were on if you go to any of my social media pages, you'll see where it says, maybe in the little header up there, it says mikekitco.com, right? It's like a little connection point. And if you ever went to mikekitco.com, and if you want to know how to reach out to me, this is the easiest way. Go to mikekitco.com, fill out a form, and put your name in there. Give me your phone number, give me your email address, and I promise you, I'll call you back as soon as I possibly can. And sometimes it's within a minute of receiving the form, if I have spare time. And anyway, I received the form, and I called immediately, and it was a fella. And I said, "Hey, this is Mike Kitco. Hey, thanks for submitting the form. How can I help you?" He said, "I just want some inspiration and motivation." I'm like, "Okay, that sounds awesome. I got a lot of that. What questions do you have?" And he said, "Well, I don't have any questions." And I said, "All right, what you want? You what problems do you have? And he's like, oh, I don't have any problems. I was like, well, listen, what are you looking for? He said, I'm just looking for some inspiration, motivation. I said, all right, look, at this point, I'm going to make you two offers. I'm going to offer you two avenues where we can go. One is come up with some questions that I can answer, because I don't know what to do right now and how to give you inspiration, motivation. Or I can direct you to my website where you can go and look at our programs, and you can go and look at our, our tools and our concepts and our techniques. And I could give you one of those. Which one you want? He's like, oh yeah, how about the website? So I gave him the website, and he downloaded, and he immediately connected with a free like the mini course or something. Now, I could have stayed on the phone with that guy for an hour, for 2 hours, and given him inspiration and motivation. I got plenty of it. I got plenty of it in spades. But the point is, there was not going to be reciprocity. There was not going to be a financial transaction to justify me being on the phone for an hour or two. And a sales call is that. My intention of jumping on a sales call is for you to either A, join my workshop, or 2, join my mastermind. If one of those 2 outcomes aren't going to happen, then I'm gonna push you to the website so you can get some more information. Maybe you can listen to more podcast episodes. Maybe you can read my blog. Maybe you can connect on social media. But if I'm on a sales call and you're not interested in joining the workshop or the mastermind, we're probably not going to be on the phone for very long, because my time is finite and my attention is finite, and I can only give it to one place at a time. And when I give my attention, I'm giving you my energy, and I ask in return for some energy. And that's called business. Now, going back to buying your friends, there's no way I'm here right now if I wouldn't have bought my friends. I have paid good money to get into rooms with people that I knew could help me, with people that I knew had solutions to problems that I had. I've bought into masterminds. I've bought into coaching programs. I've bought into workshops. I've bought books. I bought a lot of education so that I could get here right now. And I've spent a lot of money with human beings to access both them and their solutions and their networks. I paid to get in a room with other people that I knew were just like me or better. And in essence, I was buying my friends. I spend money to access rooms and to access teachers that I know could add value to my life and could increase my circumstances. And at the same time, there are people like my mastermind who access my time and buy my attention and buy my space and buy my rooms and buy my content and buy my time, because it's going to increase the value of their life. So in essence, we're buying our friends. And if you go back to what Chris Rood said, which the first part is no friends, only allies. What I mean in context of buying your friends is you're buying allies. You're buying more value in your life. You're buying people. You're buying relationships that you add value to them. They add value to you. You can find friends who just want to waste time anywhere. You can go to any bar anywhere and find a whole bunch of people that just want to waste their time. So you don't need to pay for that. But if you really want to access and surround yourself with people that add value to your life and you add value to theirs, you might want to buy your friends. You might want to buy your friends. You might want to pay. I just joined another mastermind this last week. In fact, I joined the inner circle. I have an inner circle, and I joined this person's inner circle because I know this guy can help me, and I know the community that he's building, those people can help me too, and I want to help them. So in essence, I'm basically buying some more friends, buying more allies, because it'll be a value add situation, not just wasting time together. but I've paid a lot of money to a lot of people to buy network, to buy people that would pour into me. And in turn, there's people that buy into my time. I give them my attention, I give them my focus, and they also make connections in my community that add value to both of their lives too. We buy our way into the rooms that are going to add value to our life. People do not access my time for free because I've got a lot of people who want a lot of time from me. And I used to feel bad about that. I used to like, I don't know, I used to feel like shameful and guilty for that. But you know what? Not anymore. Got a lot of people who want my time. A lot of people who want my time for free. And I just got to make sure I protect my energy because I only have a finite amount of energy to give away. And I'm inviting you into the same situation. You can't connect with every single person you come in contact with, and you can't stay in a deep, committed, lifelong relationship with people that everybody you come in contact with. There are people that show up for a reason, a season, and a lifetime, and relationships do expire. And in some cases, as soon as somebody leaves my mastermind, that relationship expired, and I take my attention that I had given that person and give it back and reinvest it to the people that are still in my mastermind. And I would expect the people that I buy their time, I buy their energy, I buy their allyship, I buy their friendship. I would expect them to do the same thing because I'm not in it to accumulate friends for the rest of my life. I'm in it so that my life continues to increase in value, and so do theirs. Here's the coolest part of this, and here's how we're going to wrap this thing up. I talked about clients and friends and allies, and friends, like the definition that I like to use is friends just kind of like waste time together. But when I say buy your friends, I'm really talking about allies. But you can go to a bar and find a bunch of friends and waste time together. Allies add value to each other, and clients are allies. Okay. When there's a healthy client and coach relationship, those guys are allies. Here's the coolest part of this. When I stopped looking for friends, and I mean people to waste time together, those bar rats. When I stopped looking for those people and only selected allies and only chose allies, just like, Chris Rood kind of recommended when he said that, and it just made so much sense. When I stopped looking for them, I realized one thing. It's more likely that your clients actually become your friends than your friends to become your clients. I've got more clients that I have a deeper connection and a deeper bond, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a deep love, a deep, just actually like so conversationally deep and so bonded, so connected that I didn't know this level of relationship and this level of bond and connection and concern for another human being was even possible outside of my small family. But I stopped looking for people to waste time with, friends, and some of my clients started becoming like deeply connected. It's more likely that your clients become your friends than your friends become your clients. If you just go up to a random friend that you're wasting time with and ask for a financial exchange to add value to their life, they're probably going to just like run away from you and think that you're some like selfish asshole. And if you really like, in my vision, the relationship part, it talks about Angie, but it also talks about our deeply bonded, our deeply connected, and our deeply intimate relationship with our clients and our mastermind, our allies. And all we had to do in the process is give up people that we're wasting time with. Guys, I hope this connects. I know this is a little longer episode than normal, but I hope this connects. I hope this lands. Buy your friends, buy allies, buy people who add value to your life. Buy into rooms where those people that can help you and you can help, where they exist. Because I tell you what, you meet the right people And that, whatever investment it costs to get into that room, to get into that mastermind, whatever investment, those people will 100x that investment. The ROI on buying into the right room is infinite. It happens in my mastermind, and that's why I just joined another mastermind. And I'm going to speaker training, Sell from the Stage training, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this coming week. Basically, I'm buying training, but I'm also buying into a room. I'm buying into a network of people that are going in the same direction as me. And from that, I'll form some connections. I'll form some ally relationships. My life will be enriched, and I'll enrich the life of others. Stop looking for people to waste time with. If they're wasting time, if they want to waste time with you, get them out of your life. Find allies. Find deeply bonded connections that add value to each other's lives. And you can't lose.